Hey everyone, welcome to the recap of the Walking Dead universe. We are here live during the season to discuss the latest episode. You can catch our reviews at any time, available on most major podcast platforms. Get new and past episodes for free in the app of your choice, including YouTube. Today we are covering Daryl Dixon season 2, subtitled The Book of Carol, episode 3. For those of you joining us live tonight, thanks for taking time out of your evening to be here. I am your host, Tamara, and I love a good TV show and a good book. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me pretty much everywhere at the Recap Pods. And if you're into books, you can also find me at Shelf Addiction. Joining me today is show co-host Lisa. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey, Tamara. Hey, everyone. My name is Lisa Orban. I am an author. I am also the founder of Indies United Publishing House, and I love all things pop culture. And if you would like to connect with me online, you can pretty much find me everywhere at Lisa Orban Author or at Indies United Pub.
Okay, so before we get started, we would love your participation in this conversation. So if you are listening live on YouTube, hit us up in the comments section. If you're catching this on a replay, you can still comment on YouTube or Spotify, or even leave us a voicemail message using the SpeakPipe link in the show notes. If you are new to the podcast, we are laid back in our review style, right, Lisa?
Absolutely, Tamara. This is a conversation, not a dissertation.
Exactly. No scene by scene breakdowns here. We jump around a lot. And of course, a huge spoiler alert for everything, every show in the world through yesterday's episode. So if you are cool with that, this is the place for you. And we should just jump right into it.
Absolutely.
All right. Episode 3.
I
What do you
liked
think?
it.
You liked it?
I did. And I thought it was a good balance between Daryl and Carol.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd also like to point out Carol continues to be a consummate liar. Um,
You know what? Her trick is she hides the lie with a little bit of truth.
oh yeah,
So that's how it's so believable.
I think one of my favorite scenes is when she's sitting there with Janine, and Janine's like, "How did you get here?" And she's like, "Well, I flew in 2 days ago. We made the stop in Greenland, and these two women try to take my pilot and use him as a sperm donor, and just this whole." And I'm like, when you put it like that, that just sounds utterly ridiculous.
It does
And,
sound ridiculous. It's like, okay.
and you could see Janine just like processing. Okay, that might be true. I don't.
Who knows?
I just got because it was all true. We
Mhm.
know it's true. We watched it, but it just
Sounds ridiculous.
sounds ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So I did enjoy that part of it. And I even liked Janine's, more or less origin story, I guess, working at the Louvre and her stealing the Mona Lisa and watching her husband die, right there in front of her. I thought it was actually it still doesn't explain why she's, so bitchy. But
Yeah. I think that's part of my issue with her origin story. I think sometimes I'm okay with people just being bad. And
yeah,
sometimes when they make you try to feel bad for them and be like, oh, well, maybe it's okay. They try to make them not a clear antagonist when they are.
right.
And I
Well,
wish sometimes they wouldn't do that.
sometimes, I mean, here's the thing. This is a show where every single person has lost at least one person, if not every person they've known.
Exactly. So that doesn't make you special.
It
Everyone
doesn't make
lost
you
people.
special.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you, any more sympathetic than, the person standing next to her who, all those people sitting there in the Louvre lost someone too.
Mhm.
They may not have seen them die right in front of them, but people have lost, they lost parents or children, spouses,
Mhm.
good friends. So, it was kind of interesting to because I'm like, wow, she was a janitor,
Yeah. Yeah.
and look at her now, trying to make a better zombie.
I mean, yeah, she's trying.
She's, yeah, she's
Yeah.
definitely trying.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not sure she's really succeeding in that, but they are definitely trying.
Yeah, she's got, like, no scruples about it. She's just, I don't know, kinda heartless, I feel like, a little bit about it. I don't know. I feel like she thinks just like, these the other side thinks they know what they're doing as well, right? They all
Hmm.
believe she thinks that they're doing something appropriate and the other people are the Looney Tunes, and they think she's the crazy one. So,
Right.
that's
I'm going to be real truthful, and I'm going to say these two factions are both Looney Tunes
yeah.
in their own way.
'Cause what do they say? Like, the villain is always the hero in their own minds or something like that. They always
Everyone's the hero of their own narrative.
yeah, they all think they're doing the right thing, and that's coming from both sides at this
Yeah,
point because the others are crazy too. And while they're not going out and murdering a lot full of people to make walkers, they're still willing to sacrifice a child, so
yeah,
that's bad.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
Janine tends to do it a little more wholesale.
Mhm.
They're doing it a little more retail,
Mhm.
but again, my stance still remains: both sides of this conflict are Looney Tunes,
Yeah, I would agree. There's really no good side. I guess there's bad and more bad, I
right?
guess. Yeah.
Um, and you know the religious network did have some redeeming qualities, but here's the thing about, if you have faith, you shouldn't have to see wonders to have that faith, because faith means a belief in something without evidence.
Mhm.
If you need evidence, it's not faith.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So, they say they have faith, but they're now demanding proof, and they want to sacrifice a child to prove that faith. So that's not faith. That's
Well, that's how it turned from, like, a religious group into a cult.
yeah,
Like, what are you guys doing? Like, yeah, you're right. Faith, you wouldn't need to sacrifice a child for that.
exactly. You
Mhm.
know, faith is toiling or doing good works diligently without having concrete proof that what you're doing is you will be rewarded for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even though they were so sure the bite nothing would happen, but I don't think they were so sure. I think they were just hoping.
right. Well, and if they were so sure, they wouldn't need. If they were absolutely sure, they wouldn't have needed a demonstration.
Yeah. And not only that, so that guy Losan, he's Losang or whatever, he's
Hmm.
supposed to be like, I guess the best of them, right? He's not that bad. He didn't know about some of the stuff going on, but he's actually as bad.
Yeah.
You literally take someone that the kid knows and cares about, and you serve her up to bite him. Like,
Hmm.
that's heartless. Who does
And then
that?
they drugged him,
Yeah, they
so that
drugged
he
him.
wouldn't, fight. And now we know why they didn't want Daryl to teach him how to defend himself.
Mhm. Just stand here and get bitten
Yeah, just
like a
stand
good
here.
boy. My god.
So I and then to resort to torture, to get what they want,
Mhm.
never a good look.
No.
So, I mean, in a zombie apocalypse, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be a saint, cuz I wouldn't be. Y'all have been here for a while, you know that I wouldn't be a saint. Um but I wouldn't pretend that I was and then do these things. You know.
Right. Right. Exactly.
you know, um I mean, at least Janine is honest in her unscrupulousness, I guess. She makes no apologies for what she does. she's not hiding behind religion or an excuse. I mean, she's kind of hiding behind an excuse, but she's pretty straightforward. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, this is it. Get on my side basically or
Yeah,
else. And I mean, she actually Janae could completely convince those people that they were sacrificing themselves for a greater good. And
yeah,
they were just standing there waiting to just be shot. And she's like, "We've practiced. They're ready." I'm like, "What? Okay.
yeah. And
Okay,
and
crazy."
I did like, starting that with that moment with her and Carol looking at the Mona Lisa. Um, I really liked that moment between the two of them because it neither one was letting down their mask, so to speak, but there
Mhm.
was that you could see some of Carol and Janine and some of Janine and Carol. Um,
Yeah. But I
and
think it ends there though.
yeah, I mean, I'm not. Carol is definitely the better of the two people. Um, and again, it's not because Carol's never done any bad things. I mean, Carol has done some things,
Yes, she has.
but at at, at her core, Carol really does care about people, particularly her people, whereas Janine doesn't honestly care about anything except for her goal. And I think I also thought it was kind of interesting because now she's like "Viva la people," the resistance and so on and so forth. And when we first meet her, they were having they were
Like a
together in
union.
that
Yeah.
group to
Yeah.
do um a strike.
Mhm.
And she's like, "What's the point?
Yeah, she's very different back then.
There's no point in any of this. We're just gonna do our thing." And I'm like, "Well, look at how far you've come."
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, so even if Carol had felt some type of, camaraderie with her, even a little bit, when she's in the car with Janae, she's looking at her. Did you see the look on Carol's face as
Yeah.
she's talking? She's
Mhm.
looking at her like, okay, crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah. You know,
She
um,
knows it immediately.
yeah, the sly eye,
Yeah,
you
she's
know.
looking at her like, okay. She gets there, they're out there. She's like, "Oh my god, you're gonna turn these people." And she's like, "Yeah.
And I'm gonna turn you too, so you can go, you'll
Yeah,
get your
you can
wish. You,
you can
you
go
get to
kill
kill
Daryl."
Daryl. You know,
What?
I was wondering because I'm like, man, I mean, Carol is a good liar. Don't get me wrong. I mean, even the way her delivery on, I'm here to kill, to kill him.
Mhm.
I mean, it was said with conviction.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought, man, Janine's really kind of, she jumped on that train pretty fast. There's something else, and I've been through that whole scene. I'm going, what is she gonna do? What is she gonna do?
Look,
And then,
I
when they
knew
started,
she wouldn't believe her. She just went along.
yeah, and I'm like, and she kept her in the car with her, and everything else, and you could see Carol putting two to two together when they got to the thing. She's like, wait a minute, we got the scientist here, we got guns, yeah, okay, no one else is armed. This is strange,
Yeah.
and then the light bulb, you could see where she just went, wait a minute.
Mhm.
And Jenny's like, you said you wanted to kill Daryl, here you are.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't
you know
know, that was wild, and I'm surprised Carol again, so she always seems to surprise me because in one hand, she's very aware of how devious people can be.
hmm
She's very careful in some ways, but then she gets a little comfortable in other ways with strangers. Like
yeah,
that guy, like, he ratted you out, like, you told,
right.
like and of course, he's gonna tell, "I told her, where in all of this," and it just comes right on out. I'm like, she's too comfortable in some ways, she's
hmm
too overly confident sometimes.
yeah, well, I as soon as I heard her talking to that guy, I'm like, oh, that was a mistake. You could have just looked it up on a map.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
could have just skidded out of there, and or basically said, I think I know where my friend is. I'm gonna go look for him. I mean, this there are maps there, or she could have asked someone else on the road.
Mhm.
I would not have ever asked. I if I had been her, I would not have said anything to anyone in that compound for that reason.
Right. W
Um,
well, honestly, I'm surprised that she got I forgot that guy's name, the guy who's being tortured.
mhm,
So she gets it out of him, but this guy tolerated, like, severe torture, and then he just tells her
mhm,
as soon as she says, "That's my brother, he's my last,"
mhm.
and he just gives it up, and I'm thinking, "Don't aren't you concerned that she's a plant?"
Yeah, I know. I thought that too.
You're just gonna say? Like, "Okay." They just made that plot device work. They're like, "Okay, we need this to happen. Let's just do it." Even though it
Right.
really didn't make sense for someone like him. I think it would have been harder for him to give it up, but
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought that myself. I'm like, huh, that's weird because he's really been through a lot of torture to keep this a secret.
mhm.
The only thing I could my only reasoning for it was she's obviously an American.
Yeah.
Um,
But that
but
I'm
even
sure
still,
she and Daryl aren't the only Americans in the country.
I know. Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah.
And and I figure and I knew Janine had to think there was something up with Carol's story as well because Carol had initially told her that, she was there as a tourist and gotten trapped there and yet spoke almost no French.
I know if you've been there that long, you'd speak some French.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I mean, she has bonjour, you know, but really, you need a little more than that if you've been there for 10 years or so.
Mhm. Even
So
if you have a horrible accent, you'd be able to speak a little.
you'd at least have pigeon.
Mhm.
Now, granted, there are a lot of English speakers, particularly like around Paris and stuff. Um, but as a if you're going to be in a country that long, you would eventually pick up the language just because you were hearing it so much.
Yeah, and honestly, in a situation where you need to see what people are saying. They
Hmm.
could be talking about you or doing something to you or,
Right.
you need to understand, and that's
Exactly.
priority. Even if some people speak English, you can't just trust what they tell you in English is what they're saying in French.
Right. Exactly. I mean, even Daryl, who's terrible with languages, um,
He's picking
has
up a
already,
little.
he's picked up some.
Yeah.
So, not real conversational, but I
Look,
will give it.
the
I will
little
say this:
yeah.
he does give it his all because I mean he learned sign language, and now he's learning French. So he really does put in the effort for the women he likes.
Look, I was about to say his French was like nails on a chalkboard, but he tried, and I
Right.
assume his sign language was also nails on a chalkboard, but just with his hands. It was
Right.
equally as bad, I'm sure, but he tried.
You have to give him an A for effort because he really does try.
Yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, and but yeah, I thought it was I'm kind of wondering because we know that Carol has learned to walk with the walkers.
Mhm.
And um on the previews when everyone else was falling down shot, she had her eyes open looking around. So I'm going to assume she's unhurt.
Yeah, she looks unhurt. I would have fallen
So,
down too, act like I was shot.
yeah. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure because she does know how to you know she knows how to more she can't hurt them by herself obviously, but
Mhm.
she knows how to walk with them.
Mhm.
So, as long as she stays towards the middle of the group, I don't think Janine will realize she's actually alive.
Right. She's gonna assume that she's with the rest of them. I
Mhm.
don't think she has any inclination of how much Carol has the ability to do. You know what I'm saying? So she's just
Mhm.
gonna assume, yeah, she's dead. She's over there.
Yeah, because as far as I can tell, no one we haven't seen any group or any person that's walked with the walkers in
Mhm.
France. So I'm going to guess that this is a regional skill,
Mhm.
or it just may not have ever occurred to them to do so.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm pretty sure Carol's going to. roll herself in some blood and go, "Rrr," and stumble along.
The only thing that might mess her up is if they somehow inject a couple of them with those serums and, they're
Yeah,
just not regular. We've got some super kind of walkers in there.
true. But I don't. If they do, they'll probably do it more towards the edges, not towards the centers. Um, because they can't, once they inject them, the reaction seems to be almost instantaneous.
Mhm.
So the scientists aren't going to want to be in a group of berserker, walkers with no protection.
Well, yeah, but she's got a couple different formulas. She's probably going to try to do, with all her testing, she's
Yeah,
probably not going to pick something that she knows is too difficult for her to control.
true. So I guess we're just gonna, I my assumption is Carol is going to walk with the walkers until she gets closer to the building.
Yeah, to the nest. That makes the
Mhm.
most sense. Honestly, it does. I don't know how she would get out of there without them seeing her if she did something else. So,
Yeah, but once they get
yeah.
closer, they get into more of a wooded area. She'll be able to break off.
Look, if you're walking toward that place, there is no wooded area. It's sand.
Yeah, I thought.
That's
Well,
it.
I was when they were showing them going up into the castle. I thought that there were some trees and some wooded areas there um
There
towards like the.
aren't. I didn't see any when I was there. There aren't.
Okay, I'm just when Daryl and they were trying to get into the building, they were going
Mhm.
up on the rocks.
Mhm.
It looked
Yeah,
like
there
there was.
might be a couple spare random trees around, but it's water comes up, the tide comes in.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking there was like a tree line above the rocks.
Mm-mm.
I'm just saying that that's what it looked like, from looking at the screen. I
Well,
don't,
I don't know. I can show you my photos and you can see there's nothing there.
well, that's fine.
I
I
guess they can
believe
throw
you.
some in there. They like to do things to their, for them to use. Who knows? They might just make something up and put some in there. Who knows?
Right. I was listening to they're talking about, during the uh, after the show, and the actress that plays Janine was talking about how they had cleared out the Louvre, and she had that moment alone with the Mona Lisa and stuff, and she's like, it was really kind of almost surreal, um, because this isn't something that mo- most people have a chance to have happen,
Oh
because there's
yeah.
always so many people, and it's a very crowded experience.
Hmm.
And she said there was just really this, and I'm like, and I thought it was kind of cool that they actually did film in the Louvre itself. They didn't make a set; they actually filmed it in the Louvre.
Yeah, they had some like they what do you say? They only had like 3 days they could do it.
Hmm.
3 different days to pick from, so they had to hurry up. They didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, and then they had to be real careful with things
Yeah.
because you don't want to mess up any of
Get
the
fake
priceless.
blood on a painting or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I did think that was kind of cool. That would be an experience I would very much like to have. Not the apocalypse part, the just being able to wander through the Louvre by myself.
I wonder how creepy that would feel.
Probably a little, depending on where you were at there. Which section.
I mean, all the empty halls and it's quiet and stuff, that would feel really weird.
Probably, but it'd also be
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm.
But and but I guess we should probably talk a little bit about poor Daryl. There's this moment when they were dragging him back in, all beat up, and they
Mhm.
him. We're getting really close. We're beating him down. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what this man has been through.
Well, he looked a little beat up. He looked a little worse for wear, so
He looked a little worse for wear, but as far as
he's been
breaking
through a
down
lot.
Daryl,
Yeah.
considering everything he went through with Negan,
Like, that was just what I was gonna say. I'm sure there's no way that they did more than what Negan did to him. There's no way.
this I'm not saying it's a great life skill to have, but at this point, Daryl, has some experience in being tortured.
He definitely does. Yeah.
And he has the fortitude. Of course, now he's all upset about his lady love and being taken away. I'll take you to Laurent.
Oh, yeah. So even they went and tortured Isabel a little bit, which I'm
Mhm.
surprised. I'm like, well, she was one of you. Why would you torture her? But I guess, anything to figure out where Laurent is.
Right.
But that didn't, obviously she held it in and then they took her
Well,
off one more time.
but here's the thing, she doesn't know where he
Nope,
is exactly.
she doesn't.
Daryl's the only one that does.
Well, I think she heard him say our secret cave. So she knows
Right.
it's a cave, but she doesn't know where it is. No clue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's even if it's somewhere we know it's somewhere in the vicinity, that's still a lot of ground to cover.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know what the cave system is like in this area. I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be easy to find.
Right.
So, I mean, it's enough that I don't know how much they patrol, but patrols haven't found them.
No.
You know, although I will say, all things being equal, that they are kind of lax as far as their security goes.
Well, they're supposed to be peaceful people, right? So I'm sure they don't really train. They probably don't have all of those skill sets, or they have
Yeah.
a couple people that came in that might have had a little bit of security or something that are,
Hmm.
taking the leads, but they don't have any kind of organization. Not really, not like that.
No, no, not really. I mean, I'm going to be real truthful. Considering how focused Janine has been on finding these people. I mean, okay, you've been there. Is it really that hard to find?
Yeah, if you don't know where it is, yes. I mean,
Oh,
we were on
really?
the bus for a couple of hours from the, Paris area.
Uh huh.
So I wouldn't have known without a map and knowing exactly where it is. Yeah,
Okay.
without Google Maps, yes. But once you get like in the vicinity, you can see it from far away because it's
Hmm.
pretty huge. So once you get like, I don't know, within 5 miles of it, I guess I'd say you can see it in the horizon. But
But you wouldn't be able to tell if there's people there or not
no,
either.
not that far away, no. You can't tell till you get close. A mile maybe.
But it's got to be a well enough known place that, when Carol mentioned it to the professor or to the
Mhm.
teacher, he immediately knew where it
There's
was.
there's signs everywhere, so if you knew what you were looking for and you knew which direction it was in, as you
Hmm.
get closer, they it's a tourist spot.
Yeah.
They'd have signs just like for everything else that's a tourist item. So,
Well, I suppose at that point, Carol wouldn't have needed to ask anyone. She could have just looked at the signs. You know?
yeah, once she got in the vicinity, yeah, just follow the signs. And then, when you look from the street of the highway, you can see it far in the distance. Just walk that way. Yeah.
So yeah, I am I have, because I kind of have wondered throughout this, how is it that they have kept this place a secret? I mean, it's a big building with nothing around it.
Well, I don't think it's a secret. I think it's a secret that they're there. They
Yeah,
probably think it's abandoned?
yeah, but if I knew it was there, I mean, I'd take the castle.
Yeah. I mean, definitely working.
Yeah,
It's working. They have, well, and I'm assuming it's in our, timeline or whatever. So the thing was already set up for people to use. There's bathrooms, there's rooms, there's stores, there's all kind of stuff in there
yeah.
that we don't see on camera, but
And then there's the tide that comes in and out, which I'm sure helps.
yep.
So,
Yeah, I would use it. I mean, it is odd. Why wouldn't you check there? It seems like an obvious place to check for a huge group of people to hide out.
yeah. That's basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Weird.
Hmm.
But like everything in this show, just, disregard it. It's
It
fine.
it just is.
It's
It
fine.
just is.
Yeah. Just accept and move
Yeah.
on, carry on.
Well, and I love the father trying to justify, to Daryl. Well, this is why we're doing this for the greater good. We're trying to replenish people's faith. And again, faith doesn't have to be replenished. That's why it's faith. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
and all of his, he's really going out of his way to justify what they're doing. And the more he tried to justify it, the more it just sounded
Ridiculous.
pathetic.
Yeah, Lo saying he is like he wants to be that, he wants to have the higher moral ground and just
Hmm.
really feel like he's doing this great thing, but he's not. He doesn't. He knows it. I think he knows it.
Yeah, he has to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what did you think about when Daryl and Isabel were tied up, or chained, I should say, in their little prison area?
Hmm.
And they're having that little cute conversation, and she's like, "Tell me a story, talk to me about whatever."
Hmm.
And they have that moment, and she says, "I love you" to him. I'm like, "Oh."
In French, so he doesn't understand it.
Well, I thought at first maybe he didn't, but then I'm like, "Well, he's been learning some, so maybe he does?"
I don't know that I'm
I
not
don't
sure that would
know.
be a phrase that they would teach him.
I don't know, but that she sure did say it, and at first I said, "Well, he doesn't understand it, so that's why he's not really reacting in that way," but then I
Hmm.
thought, "Well, maybe, I don't know."
I
It's
I mean,
undetermined.
the things that they have been teaching him have been more practical or mundane,
Mhm.
you know, to ask for things, to the names of things. I I can't it would Karina says she loves Daryl. I think he understood. I mean, he might know the phrase, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think that would be one that he would be had been purposefully taught,
Mhm.
in this place and location.
Yeah, and I guess even if he didn't understand the words verbatim, he probably understood the intent, you know?
Yeah,
Kind of like what Karina says, the look on his face, he got it.
but he didn't say it back.
He didn't, but, he might have been in shock, I don't know, and then, of course, she was yanked away, so he was
Right.
all screaming for her.
This is true.
So, I
His
think
love
it's
language is beating
cute.
people up.
Yeah, but, that's like the kiss of death for a character. You've confessed your love in an apocalypse, and you're being pulled away. What's gonna happen to her? You think he's gonna rescue her, and they're just gonna skip off and find Laurent?
I think he's going to do what he can. I think he would not voluntarily leave her behind. We know that.
Oh, no, he won't, but I feel like well, they just killed Sylvie's character in the most dumb way, but they killed her.
Right.
I I don't know, it seems like just when you make your feelings known, something bad is gonna happen.
I don't know. I think Daryl kind of deserves this. They're not having or taking away, but having someone for him. It would be nice if Daryl had someone for him for a while.
He probably could use it, honestly. He's had a
Yeah.
lot of tough breaks. He could use a girlfriend that's, you know,
Mhm.
not not turned evil or dead or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, I'm curious to see. We'll have to see what happens because obviously he's gonna get out of that.
Yeah. Well, and there is we know that I'm pretty sure in the episode 4 he sees Carol. He gets together with Carol
Yeah.
and he makes the comment, I can't leave without them.
Yeah, he's talking about that whole little clique,
Mhm.
Laurent and what's the other guy's name? Fal
Mhm.
and of course, Isabel, he's not gonna leave without her.
Right.
Mhm.
Cuz I have a feeling she's like, "Okay, I found you. Let's go." And he's like,
Yeah,
"Can't."
well,
You know,
she
we
doesn't
got
know what he's been up to for the last, several months, half a
right.
year, however long it's been.
Sorry, we got people to rescue. I know you've come a long way, but
But I created a new family and we have to help them.
right.
So,
Right.
there's that.
I was planning on bringing them home though.
Mhm. How we
Well,
getting out of here?
well, and here's the thing, it never would have crossed his mind that anyone would come looking for him there.
No, because what are the chances? So slim. How would any honestly, Carol lucked out. It was a fluke that she found him.
Yeah,
There's no way anyone else could have done that, and she just had a series of events that just happened to just fall into place because, the writer said so. But for
right.
the normal person, they wouldn't have been able to find him
So, I mean, Daryl has 0 expectations of anyone
coming. Yeah.
coming for him.
Mhm.
And he is making plans to take them back to America. Uh, so he's gonna be in shock when he sees Carol because she is going to be the last thing he thought he would be
I know.
finding there.
I
He's
know.
gonna be he's not gonna be unhappy, don't get me
He's gonna
wrong,
be
he's
shocked.
but he's gonna be shocked.
Yeah.
Uh, and I but, honestly, I don't know that he'll be because if it was reversed, he would go to the ends of the earth to find Carol.
Mhm.
So I think he'll be shocked but not surprised.
Hell, he might even rib her and say, "What took you so long?"
Exactly.
I could see that.
Yeah. I've been here for 6 months. Where you been? You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. I mean, but like I mean, he's going to be shocked, but not. I don't think he'll be surprised. Now, if it was anyone else, like if Morgan showed up, that would shock him. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
um, if it was Rick, definitely shocked him for multitudes of reasons. But Carol, they have such a strong bond between the two of them. You know, once he gets over his initial white, holy crap. Um, I think he always he knew that if anyone was going to find him, it would have been her.
Oh, absolutely. She would be the only one.
Right,
She's just got a unique set of skills, and only she could pull it off.
right. We love Carol.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I wonder if she's gonna rib him about his girlfriend.
Probably, and she should,
Mhm.
because that's what siblings do.
Mhm. You hear that,
And
everybody? Siblings?
yeah. Well, I mean, and here's the thing: when she was talking, to the one guy, the guy who was being tortured, I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
I know Karina will tell us, but I don't really care. Um, but when she was talking and saying that, he's my brother, I really did actually believe that. Because I think that's exactly how she
Well, that's how she feels
looks at
about
him.
him.
That's how
Yeah.
she looks at him. This is my little brother,
Mhm.
you know, and she would move heaven and earth to help him. But then again, he would do the same for her. So, it's a well balanced relation. It's not one sided.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I do wanna talk a little bit just to go back a little bit.
Okay.
You know that scene where after Carol and Janae were looking at the Mona Lisa, they're being served dinner
Hmm.
behind them, and that guy is like, "The food's nasty, whatever." He tosses it on the floor, and there's this whole thing where Janae, like, makes him eat off of the floor.
Yes, like a dog.
Yes, I'm like, "God dang." And Carol's watching this, like, what did you think of that scene? Like, that really shows the power that Janae has over that group of people,
Hmm.
and it also shows a little bit of her crazy as well.
It does. Um, I thought, and if you look, the people that are all in that room are all standing there on the beach, getting ready to be killed.
Mhm,
Um, so she's been training these guys for a while, and you can see that training because this guy towers over her,
mhm.
and there was no one else in the room that could have enforced her word if he had decided to say no. Um, so yeah, she's definitely got a big hold on these people, and I gotta wonder what is it that she is promising them that they're getting out of dying? Because it's obviously not the food.
No, I think maybe it's that maybe she's giving food to their families or something, like, they've left some you know how when she gave the food to all the people and people voluntarily got on the trucks?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think, they are getting something, but it may not be for themselves. It may be for friends or family they're trying to take care of that need food or
Mhm.
whatever she's giving them.
Yeah, because I do wonder what it is, because unless these guys are fervent followers,
Mhm.
you know, and she, since she eschews religion so much, it's something secular.
Mhm.
But it does kind of surprise me, and it also kind of surprises me that she put Carol in with this group of people that she has been grooming for a while now, and they're all aware of what's going on, and Carol is not.
Right. That's probably why she separated her from
Hmm.
them. She couldn't hear them talking or anything, so they don't
Hmm.
know what they're doing.
Right. So I did find, so for, when we were talking about group one and group two, I'm pretty sure Carol's group was the one that she's planning on turning into zombies. Um,
Well, if Carol I'm not sure that is the group she was put into. I think that might have been the other group. But now that Janae is going to kill her, she's like, I don't care what group you came in on. You're with these people.
right. Well, she was in that mess hall with them, so I just, my assumption is that she was going to be put with them anyway.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
It was just fortuitous for
Mhm.
Janine to find out who she was.
Mhm.
It did work in her favor.
So maybe they weren't really splitting the people then. Maybe everybody, because that was a big group of people she had.
Hmm. Oh yeah, but I mean, she's also been collecting people for a while too,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
true.
mean, if you think about it, back in season one when they had Daryl in the pits, I mean, there was a lot of people there.
Mhm.
So, I think and that's not the only place she has people. She has those little enclaves, dotted throughout.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's got a lot of people.
Oh yeah, she definitely does.
I mean, now the religious people, they have a big group too, but they're spread thinly throughout France. As being used as way stations and stuff.
Mhm.
So
I wonder, so do all of those people all over the country, like, hiding out and, like, the school and just pockets of people, do they all know that the intent was to possibly have Laurent bitten to see? I wonder if they all know or if only the people at the nest know.
I'm going to say only the people at the nest, because that would be number one. If everyone knew, then the nuns and stuff would have known it, where is Laurent and Isabel were.
Mhm.
And I don't think they would have been able to keep that kind of a secret. You know what
Hmm.
I mean?
So, okay, so let's say we go back to season 1 and they weren't, they were able to stay there longer, all those nuns weren't killed. How long would they have let him stay there before they tried to transfer him? Like, was there an age they were waiting to? Like, if they were why didn't they just do it when he was like 5? Or hell, 2? You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah. I'm not sure. Apparently there was, you know, the one priest apparently had a vision, and there was something to it. I don't know. They never actually explain exactly what his vision was.
Mhm.
Um, but my guess is, and again, I don't know, but if everyone was, if everyone else was in on the secret except for Isabel,
Mhm.
I really don't buy it, because what's her name died too. she had no idea she was going to go and save Laurent.
Yeah.
She was clueless, and she was a believer. So if they were just telling just the believers, they would have told her,
Yeah, it's
and they
true.
did not.
Hmm. Yeah, so you're right. It's probably just a small group of them within that larger group that honestly
Hmm.
probably knew up until like the final days when they decided to move forward.
Right.
And then of course the
So,
circle had to expand because we need people to go kill people and do separate people and do all this other stuff. So more people knew at that point.
hmm, yeah, but I'm going to say that it was only a small group of people
Mhm.
had any idea, and maybe even, I mean, the father, the Monsignor at the church where Laurent was being brought up at, maybe he did know and kept it a secret, but I don't think he ever told any of the nuns.
Well, I definitely could see that a possibility, you know.
Yeah, that this was the plan to raise him to be, a leader, and then, bring him out and have him bitten and to prove their faith. I But we don't know, because by the time Daryl got there, the Monsignor had already been bitten.
Yeah. And they kept his ass locked in there.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep. To try and reach him.
Oh gosh. Like, you poor people. I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just that, yeah, and like I said, it may be just a group of Monsignors, or, just the higher echelon or whatever may have been aware of it. Only those deemed truly faithful.
Yeah, because I don't think, like, so that Lo Sang is his name. I don't think he's any kind of like priest or anything. I think he's just a spiritual person or something. I don't think he's a priest.
Well,
Is he?
I've heard him referred to as father,
Hmm.
but that could just be a, you know nomenclature for, respect or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Since it's
Mm-hmm.
a religious, I mean, they don't call him Monsignor or anything,
No.
so they could just call him Father, just because it's a religious organization.
Yeah, maybe. Wow. Again, sound totally, culty to me.
Yeah.
All of it. From the beginning, honestly, it sounded kind of strange.
Well, I've we've known since we first met Laurent that they had big plans for him, but the whole, it always had this weird flavor to it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And we just now recently found out what the weirdness was all about.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
And
am curious to see what happens next week because, now we're at this point where the action seems like it could go kind of crazy, with the walkers attacking and Daryl escaping and trying to save people. I think it could be pretty action packed the next episode.
oh yeah, I mean, we've only got two episodes left, right?
You mean after next week?
Yeah.
Let's see. So there are a total of 6 episodes. So yeah,
Right.
technically we're halfway there
Yeah.
to after yesterday's episode. So
Hmm.
yeah, 2 more after next week. So really there's not a lot of time to really wrap this thing up. I do hope they kill Janae this season though. I think they're going to wrap that up so they could go somewhere else.
Yeah. I'd like to see her go. The bad thing is again, everywhere, our group of Walking Dead survivors go, they tend to just completely destabilize the the entire, power structure going on.
Trouble just follows them. Here comes trouble.
Right.
Mhm.
So it will be, I think it'll, the sad thing is even if they get rid of Janae, we know, like I said, both sides are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
Mhm.
crazy. and there's no there is no one else to take over, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it also, they have both been somewhat stabilizing influences.
Mhm.
So, with if both groups are gone, it'll destabilize a lot of France.
Honestly, I bet there are other groups as well. These are just the 2 they're focusing on.
And that's very possible too.
Mhm.
But I do believe it's gonna cause some disruptions.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. How great would that be for the people that are in that area to not be fearful of being turned into a walker and shot up with
Yeah,
stuff? I mean, I'm sure they'll be happy not to be experimented on.
yeah, but yeah, but I'm also getting. I am going to say this. I'm a little surprised with as much infrastructure per se that they have, that there were so many hungry people. So many desperate people. That Janine
Mm.
is just picking up.
See, that doesn't surprise me because I feel like when you have the power, you hoard everything and just doll it out in little bits to the little people to make them feel grateful. So, I
Yeah.
don't know where she's getting it from, but wherever she's getting it from, she has a monopoly on it.
Well, they have a little vineyard behind the building. Yep.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Well,
I, I'm just saying she has a
Mhm,
little vineyard.
mhm. Yeah, but I think that's just my 2 cents anyway. That's how I think the people don't have food or whatever, and they're just willing to do whatever she wants to get the little scraps that they throw out there to them
Yeah,
once a
because they
week or
take
however much they come,
yeah,
you know?
simply because they take up the lion's share of whatever they find.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Including wine. She opening bottles of wine like it's a
mhm.
regular day.
It's not that great. It's okay. We have a small vineyard in the back.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for you, honey. Good for you.
Who's processing the wine? Who's doing that? Somebody.
I don't know. I hope it's not the Walkers.
Oh, God, that would be nasty wine.
Oh, you think? Ugh.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is France. I mean, there might be people there that, given their choice of activities, might want to just go work in the vineyard.
Mhm,
I mean, that might be one of the lesser of the two evils going on
mhm,
around there.
mhm. Let's see.
So,
Let's see what Karina says. Janae had a right hand. We saw her. They were cleaning ladies together.
mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, both of them went from cleaning ladies to fascists, essentially.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's funny because
Yeah.
her right hand is, the one that was trying to organize the strike for workers' rights and better
Yeah. That was the
conditions.
same lady who came back and talked to her after she brought the people back, right? That
Yeah.
was her. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So, just I just want to point out that when you were the underdog, that you were all about, rights for the people and everything else, and now that you're on top, screw the little guy.
The tables have turned.
The tables have turned.
Mhm.
Power is good, apparently.
That's what I hear. So,
Yeah. Yeah, they do say absolute was it absolute power controls or absolute power corrupts absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, that's I think that's true, especially in this world anyway.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Oh, I did want to speak on Sylvie's death real quick. So, I don't know why that death seems so ridiculous to me, but she's gets out, she's running around, and it's like, did she trip? Did they she's turned around when they were behind her. Did they I did not go back and watch again, but I'm like, it looked like she just tripped and fell to her death. I'm like, that is the
Yeah.
stupidest thing.
Yeah, I that's what I got out of it. She tripped and fell. She was trying, she had nowhere to run and she was scrambling and just fell
I feel like that was such a weak death. It would have been better if one of them had actually killed her, like on purpose.
and shoved her over the side.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Just for
I
the
mean,
sake of the story, we want to show them not being that nice. So I don't
well,
know.
and I also I had 2 thoughts when she died. I'm like, "Well, I guess no one has to tell her that her boyfriend died."
Oh my gosh! Right?
You know, because I was a little not concerned, like, "Oh, that's gonna be sad."
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Um, and the other is, you know, she was a little reckless in how she was going about looking for Laurent. If she had just been a little more stealthy, I
Mhm.
think would have had a better chance of finding him rather than running around s screaming his name.
Okay, so Karina says she snatched away, bob and weaved over the side. I don't feel like that's what I saw. She might have snatched away if they tried to grab her, but it seemed like that happened fast. Like it was almost a cartwheel over the back of that thing. I mean, it just happened real fast. I
Yeah.
didn't get that. Oh no, she's gonna fall. But again, I didn't rewind to watch twice. So I don't know. I just felt like there was a more respectable way for her character to bite it. No pun intended.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like I said, my first thought was, "Oh, good, we don't have to tell her that her boyfriend's dead." You know,
Yeah. I'm
which
like,
is
"Oh,
terrible.
damn." I'm like, "Why she gotta die? Couldn't she be a final girl?" No, she gotta die.
No. Apparently, when they told her about it, she was all excited she was gonna get to be a walker.
Yeah, she, in the actress in the after thing was talking about the makeup. She was really excited to seem like she was excited to do it.
Mhm.
And the, actor who plays Laurent said, "Oh, I was sad she would not be on set anymore." Like, oh, it's a little set buddy.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, as long as you're gonna get what you get with that show, and you could die, but
Mhm.
and she's not a main character, so of course she was more likely to die.
Right.
I
I
still would
mean,
like a main character to die. I
well,
would.
right now we pretty much have Isabel, Laurent, Daryl, or Carol.
Mhm.
Those are our choices, so I don't know. I
Well,
really
they're
don't
not
want
gonna kill Carol. There's no way.
right, and I don't really want 'em to kill Isabel. I really don't. I want Daryl to have his little family for even if it's for a little while.
Mhm.
Everyone, Carol's had her little family, um, a couple of times, and I don't know, it'd just be nice to see Daryl have someone love him back.
Mhm. I agree. That would be nice, but I think that will be the end of the show. He can't be happy.
Yeah, probably.
It's like, how when they have a main guy and lady leading a show, and the minute they hook up, the show's over.
Yeah,
The minute they get together, we're done. That's what would happen with Daryl. The minute he's happy and a family guy or whatever they want to turn him into, the show's over.
yeah.
No one can be happy in this world.
Well, then that would make the Carol dynamic a little awkward, I guess, too.
Mhm. She's
So,
like the
I don't
third
know.
wheel with them. Daryl,
Probably.
Isabel, and Carol. And what now? Ash trailing along, being
Oh,
mad.
yeah. Let's not forget Ash.
I
Yeah.
still feel bad for that guy. He's just around doing stuff, running errands, trying to get this plane to work. And, I guess when she shows up, she shows up.
Yeah.
He'll probably make it through the season then.
I think he's gonna make it to the end, but
Mhm.
like I said, there is no way they can get everyone on that plane and back to the and back. It's too small.
Yeah, no. They're gonna have well, I'm not sure. Maybe he'll leave on the plane and they'll go a different way.
Yeah.
They'll go back and they'll be like, "Hey, sorry, the plans changed. You leave and we're going a different way.
Mhm.
Sorry, I lied to you. Bye." I don't know, maybe. I hope he doesn't die. That would suck.
I know, I really don't want him to die.
Yeah.
Carol would feel really bad.
I'm sure she would. She just totally used that man,
Mhm.
and he's a good person. So, we'll see if he makes it. I hope so. But we'll see. One more person has to die, at least. At least.
I mean, can't we just call it Janine and everyone at the crazy religious factory and, call it good? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we know a ton of them are gonna die because a ton of them don't even have names. All those
Right.
people are just gonna just be walkers. They're gonna all be turned, probably.
Mhm.
They all get bitten and then they're all walking around looking crazy. That's what I think a lot of them will be walkers in the next episode after they get attacked.
I think it'd be kind of funny if, the walkers turned on Janine and ate her.
Oh, that would be I wouldn't be mad at it, but I doubt it.
I doubt it, but it would be funny.
Mhm. She would deserve it.
She would deserve it. I mean, that would be a fitting death for her, actually.
I think so. Like, you wanted to create this, go ahead and, you know,
you know,
have at it.
reap your rewards.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, well, Karina did mention that she enjoyed season or episodes 4 through 6 because she watched ahead. But she's not saying anything. Thank you, Karina. But so I'm hopeful if she liked it. You know, we have 3 more good episodes to look forward through to.
Yeah, and then that's, like, it for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think, Dead City is coming back this year, I don't think.
Not this year, not as
Yeah.
far as I know.
Yeah, so that's it. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I know, but I mean, sweetie, it is October.
I know, but still, I feel like it doesn't seem like it's this far in the year already, but it
I
is.
know. I mean, we've only got what 2.5 months left of the year.
I know.
We're really not that. We're less than 90 days for the new year. You know,
So I wonder if the Dead City will have, like, a February release, or if they're gonna make us wait until summer.
I'm not sure.
I
I
didn't
haven't
do
heard.
any research.
I haven't heard too much.
Mhm,
To be quite truthful, we know that there's going to be another dead city, but I haven't heard too much.
mhm. I think I heard some other creators kind of gossiping about another spinoff, but I hadn't heard anything.
I haven't heard anything either.
Yeah, they all try to think everybody thinks they know everything. I don't know. I'm like, "I didn't see anything. I didn't see any news stories." So, I mean, you never know. Some people might have inside knowledge. Who knows? I don't wanna be calling people liars, but,
Right. I mean, if you
yeah.
have a connection to the writers' room or whatever, then more power to you. But for us
Mhm.
lay people,
Mhm.
we haven't heard anything.
No, and it would be years before we see it anyway. If they do have another spinoff, it'll be 2026
6,
before we see anything.
yeah. So
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on this episode, you think?
no, I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah, it was a good one. Another one where I minimally complained. Great.
Look at you go.
We're on a roll here.
Keep it up, Tamara. Keep it up.
I know. I should just say to the, writers room and to the directors and, all of them, don't mess it up. Like, you've been doing good. Don't screw it up too bad.
Well, Karina is telling us that they're good, and she's a tough critic. So, you
Yeah.
know, I'm putting my faith in you, Karina.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna come back and be like, Krita, you lied to us. No. No, I think it'll be fine. I do. I haven't heard too many grumbles about it, and a lot of people have seen those episodes. So
Hmm.
I think we'll be good. I think the next 3 weeks will be a fun time, I hope.
I think so. I mean, r- truthfully, I really have enjoyed um these last 3 episodes. I mean, they've been good.
Mhm. Yeah, not
So,
bad. Pretty good.
mhm.
Okay, so I guess we'll end things there. Thanks to everyone who listened live, and a special thanks to Karina and Caesar who were in the live audience tonight. Let's see. It's been a fun time. We'll catch you guys next week. And before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you are listening because we'll be back and you don't want to miss our notification for that. And also, if you enjoyed the discussion, please leave a 5-star rating wherever you're listening. That will help people find us. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.